take a step forward to end their political deadlock. So anything that would help to end that deadlock would certainly be welcome.
Yeah, that's one example. In Sri Lanka, the Minister for Housing and Construction, Wimal Weerawansa, has been quoted as saying, urging under the headline, "Take UN Lanka staff hostage." He said, urging the public to surround the UN office in Sri Lanka and trap the staff inside with regard to the panel and any consideration of war crimes in the country. What's the UN's response to a government minister saying to, quote, keep UN staff hostage, and two, what preparations are being made, and what's your response to it?
Well, in terms of that, on the various levels, first of all, on the security level, our security officials are aware of these remarks. They would certainly try to check whether this official was quoted correctly and what he meant by that. The government of Sri Lanka has assured us that this is an individual opinion and is not their policy. Along those lines, we've also called in to the UN House in Colombo just to see what the conditions are there. They have not reported any actual mobilization of people. Certainly, if there was any such activity, though, that would be a cause of concern, but we're not at that stage yet.
And I guess my question is if a government minister makes such comments, and I understand you're going to check to see whether he was somehow misquoted by the Daily Mirror, but if a government, who did the UN speak to somehow distinguish this position from the, quote, government position, since he's a government minister?
As you know, the UN has a resident coordinator on the ground. We have officials there, and we spoke to government counterparts immediately afterwards just to check up on this particular article. But like I said, our security team will do their normal assessments as they do everywhere else in the world. At this stage, there's no particular cause for concern right now at the UN House. On the general point about any threatening comments, whether by officials or others, obviously we do not condone and do not accept any threats made against UN staff anywhere. What was precisely said and so forth, that's something we'd certainly have to determine.
What do you think this means for the government actually taking either the advice of the panel or allowing Ban Ki-moon's panel to travel to the country? Do you see any? I mean, it seems like this goes one step beyond saying they'll deny.
I wouldn't necessarily connect this to that until we have further details on what exactly